What's good, guys? Welcome back to All About Arsenal, and today we have many Arsenal fans that are kind of going into meltdown because they're thinking the deal with Victor Gyökeres is off. There's been a few media outlets, news outlets that are trying to push this narrative, but it is all rubbish, or as Boris Johnson would say, poppycock. And let's get into it today. Right. After when I heard all this news about, the deal might be, scuppered, and had a few Arsenal fans, a few of my friends messaging me and whatnot, I felt like doing that scene from The Godfather where Don Corleone gets his nephew, isn't it? And he says, act like a man. That's what I actually literally felt like doing. But I just want to assure the Arsenal fans, nothing to worry about. Okay, the news is that the agents are still in London. They are trying to formalize the deal. What they are focusing on is the add-ons. And a lot of people, we hear add-ons, but we don't really know what this means. So I'm going to break a few things down and try and actually explain as I can. So what are some of these add-ons? Some of these add-ons are, number one, resale clauses. So in a lot of these deals, some of these clubs want to make a little bit of money just in case the player decides to actually move on. And that's one of the reasons why Sporting are trying to hike the price up as much as possible, because in their deal with Victor Gyökeres with Coventry, they had a resale clause. So they owe Coventry money. So as soon as they get the money from Arsenal, they got to pay some to Coventry. So these are some of the things that are placed in the add-ons. Another major thing in the add-ons as well is player performance add-ons. So for example, if the player scores X amount of goals, so if Gyökeres scores like 20 league goals or 30 across all competitions, there's a certain amount that will go to Sporting. In addition to that, there's also team incentives, because now Victor Gyökeres now joins them. What happens if Arsenal win the Champions League or they win any domestic trophies, and they can actually attribute that to them having Victor Gyökeres. Sporting would also say, give us a little something. So that's what I mean, that there's fees or there's add-ons of 10 million, of 20 million. That's what it's all about. But it gets a little bit more technical than that. So for example, as I said, they are player performance-based add-ons. So for example, certain amount of appearances a player makes. So check this. Does it still count as an appearance if that person, Victor Gyökeres in this example, only plays for 1 minute during the game? Can they really count that as an appearance? So there could be a lot of disputes or contentions about those minute details, minute to us, but it makes a lot of sense to them, and it means a lot to them because ultimately it affects how much they have to pay out. So they might say an appearance to us is if he plays for about 10 to 15 minutes of any particular match, that counts as one appearance. So this is what Arsenal fans have to realize. There's a lot of nuances with these deals. It's not just a straightforward, this is the add-ons, just put pen to paper, and that's it. No, it's techie, because at the end of the day, Sporting have been burnt because of what they did with Coventry, and who knows, they probably didn't think that Victor Gyökeres would do as awesome as he has done. So they know that they are losing money to Coventry. If there was no resale clause in the agreement they had with Coventry, best believe Victor Gyökeres deal would have been done time ago. But this does tend to happen when there are resale clauses with the previous club that had the player. So Arsenal fans, it's not going to collapse. And I'm going to give us a few more reasons you have to realize it's not going to collapse. Victor Gyökeres, right? Let's just say the deal falls through. Sporting have to keep him. He doesn't want to play for Sporting anymore. Sporting will have to take him on loan. Sorry, Sporting will have to loan him out. If he does get loaned out, it's most likely he's going to go to a higher league. Right? Let's not be honest, he's not going to stay in the Portuguese league, or he's not going to go to a lower ranking league. He's going to go to a higher ranking league. There's uncertainty into how he's going to perform. And that's going to affect any future resale value for Victor Gyökeres. He's going to be another year older, 28. That means his value is going to go down. These are the things that you have to realize. This is the opportunity for Sporting to make as much money as they can from Victor Gyökeres at this stage. He's coming back off 2 back-to-back phenomenal seasons with Sporting. So they are riding on that wave. And that's one of the reasons they're probably trying to push up the price as much as possible. Some people are not even going to even watch that it's just the Portuguese league. They're going to say 54 goals is 54 goals, and that was in Europe. And also considering his Champions League appearances, which he done extremely well. So people have to understand that the deal's not just going to fall apart and collapse because it's a business. Never mind what the sporting director was saying. He has to talk, this guy has to appear tough. He's got to talk tough. It's all part of the game. but inside they want to do a deal, because at the end of the day, it's business. The player's not going to want to play for them anymore. They've not just burnt bridges, they have barbecued the bridges. So it's not going to happen. So please be rest assured that the deal is going to take place. So keep calm, watch this space, and the here we go is going to happen very, very soon. But we have to realize that there's a lot more that goes on in these negotiations. It's not just a fee and personal terms. There's nuances, as I've just explained. Add-ons are so big because sometimes with good add-ons, it can sometimes mean that the initial fee can be dropped because of it. So don't worry, breathe, act like a man, and watch this space. Right, I'm going to be back with the next video about this, and hopefully it is the here we go, as we love to hear from Fabrizio Romano. But until the next time, peace.